This is Erin Byron coming to you to teach you a little breathing practice called reverse breath. Now, if you've been practicing yoga for a length of time, you've probably become very accustomed to breathing with the three-part breath, which is where we fill the lower lobes of the lungs first and then draw the breath up through the intercostal area, all the way up through that upper lobe space, the clavicular area. The tops of your lungs will actually come up above the clavicles just a little bit, and then emptying from the top of the lungs through the middle and all the way out the bottom. We tend to think of this as a complete breath. We're holding the breath in the lower lobes of the lungs where there's the greatest supply of blood for the longest period of time. This allows a greater gas exchange. Very nice for removing excess carbon dioxide from the body and can be quite soothing for the autonomic nervous system, amplifying a parasympathetic or rest and digest mode in that nervous system. The breathing practice I'm teaching you today is the reversal of how we are filling the lungs in that three-part breath. So rather than filling the lower lobes of the lungs first, we're actually filling the upper lobes of the lungs first, feeling an expansion through the upper chest. And you can allow your hands to come here and just get that sense of a lift from that part of the lungs. And then, of course, at the intercostals, this is a movement in all directions, like an accordion opening, narrowing to a broadening and back in again. It is not just a straight lift of the rib cage where the ribs themselves might stay narrow and come up. This is not an appropriate use of the breathing apparatus, certainly not for this purpose. So we're thinking expansion in all directions at the intercostals. And finally, there's that breath down in the lower lobes, allowing the belly to round out, which we're so accustomed to. And when we exhale, a little bit counterintuitive, we're letting go from the lower lobes of the lungs first, and then through that intercostal area, and finally all the way out the upper chest. So you can isolate this and just breathe at the upper chest. The thing is, that is our stressed breath. We're not getting enough if we're just filling in the upper lobes here. We have so much greater capacity through the entire breathing apparatus. So let's play again with inhaling through the upper lobes first, and then through the intercostals, and then at the abdomen, belly rounding out, and then exhaling, drawing the navel towards the spine, letting the ribs knit closer together, allowing the chest to empty. And again, making this smooth if possible, inhaling top, lower, middle, lower lobes of the lungs, and exhaling lower, middle, top of the lungs. Good. Inhaling here at the top, through the middle, down through the lower lobes, and exhaling lower lobes of the lungs, intercostals, all the way out the top. So you're just going to keep that going as I'm speaking here. Feel welcome to take your own pace. Each one of us breathes in our own way. With practice, that will lengthen depending on our energy levels or what requirements the body may have. The breath is highly adaptable. We prefer it to be highly adaptable. It's a sign also of an adaptable nervous system, of a greater ability to cope with stress as it moves through our lives, and in fact, transcend that stress by instead applying much of the yoga philosophy and lifestyle tips that yoga gives us, letting everything be a practice as it moves through life. For now, your practice is just experimenting, possibly with learning this new thing or just playing along with something that feels so nice, filling the top of the lungs first, all the way down, and then emptying from the bottom, finally out the middle, and then the top of the lungs. So if you're quite practiced at breathing exercises, then the pace my hands have been taking is likely far too quick for you. Anytime I'm leading a practice, the recommendation is that you can get the instructions from what I'm saying, but trust your body to know its best pace and allow yourself to experiment with that and trust it. Remember that what we focus on during a breathing practice becomes stronger within us. So as you allow your breath just to return to normal now, close your eyes if it helps, and feel the effects that follow that reverse breath. What is your state of mind, your emotional sense? your sense of vitality through your physical self. In any pranayam, choose something that you wish to cultivate more deeply within yourself and allow the subtle practice to enhance that in your physical being. I wish you much vigor, and if you want to hear more tips and practices from me, feel welcome to subscribe below. Thank you.